20 minutes. No camera, no creator, no filming day. That is the whole distance from a product link to a finished video ad. One you can actually run on a feed tonight. Here is the catch nobody says up front, though. The free plan hands you 10 credits. That buys about 2 ads. Both come out stamped with a watermark the platform's flag as cheap. So the real question is not whether the software can do it. It is where it quietly starts costing you. By the end of this, you will have built one ad on a real product, and you will know exactly where the wall sits before you ever hit it. I will be in Creatify for this. We turn a link into a script. We cast a face and a voice that does not read as fake. Then we render the batch and pull the keeper. One product the whole way through. Here is what actually changed, and it is 2 things at once. Testing ad creative used to mean paying a person to film it. A single creator video runs you a few $100s a piece. You need a dozen angles to find the one that works. So that is real money spent before you have learned anything. The machine version drops that to about $2 an asset. That is the number that pulled every small team in. But the second thing landed at the same moment. The platform started flagging synthetic media, and the avatars carry tells. So the job quietly moved. It is not making the ad anymore. It is making the ad that does not read as a robot. And that shift is the whole reason this seat is worth walking. The tools got cheap enough that cost is no longer the question. The craft is. Last year's Avatar release cut the bad take rate from about 40% down to 30%. That is real progress. It also means roughly 1 render in 3 is still a throwaway. So this is not a magic button. It is a discovery engine. You use it to find which of 30 angles is worth real budget. Then you hand the winner to a human. Used that way, the math is absurd in your favor. Used as your whole creative team, it stacks tells until the ad dies in the feed. Finding that line is the job this tool is built for. So open it up beside me and do every step as we go. The description has the link. It is worththeseat.com/creatify. The free tier gives you 10 credits and asks for no card. That is enough to run this whole build once before you decide anything. Month to month after that, while you see if it fits your business. Do not save this for some other day. Pull up a product you actually sell right now and follow along live. You will learn more from one real render than from an hour of watching me. First, let's turn a product page into ad scripts without writing a word. Start a new video ad and you land here. There is one field that matters. You paste the page link and let it pull. Watch what happens next. It reads the details straight off the listing. The name, the copy, the images, all scraped in a couple of seconds. Our example is a direct-to-consumer everyday sneaker, the kind you wear from a flight to a dinner. You did not type any of that. The page wrote it for you. Now glance at what it grabbed and fix anything wrong before you spend a credit. The images it pulled sit right there. Drop the weak ones now. A bad source image renders into a bad ad later. Then set the shape of the thing. Vertical, 9:16 for feeds and reels. Pick a short length and tell it who this is for. Say, outdoor adventure seekers. That audience line steers the tone of every script it writes next. 30 seconds of cleanup here saves a wasted render down the line. With the audience set, hand it the writing. Choose to build the script from the page. It drafts you a handful of complete angles in one pass. This is the moment you stop paying with your own time. The blank page that usually eats 2 or 3 hours is just gone. It comes back with whole scripts, not fragments. Each one a different way to sell the same shoe. You are about to pick the lane, not write the words. Now read what it wrote. It names the shoe and pitches it a few different ways. One leans on the travel story, one on versatility, one on the brand's history, and one names a problem, then solves it. The one rule that matters here is simple. Pick the angle that matches where the buyer's head is, not the one that reads prettiest. Cold traffic does not know your brand yet, so the problem and solution angle is the one we run. Before you commit, nudge the tone on the angle you picked. Leave it conversational for this kind of ad. Run your eye over the lines once and cut anything that sounds like a brochure. Notice we have not touched a second product. It is the same shoe, the same listing, the same angle, all the way down. That single thread is what makes this feel like one ad instead of a pile of clips. The script is set. Now it needs a face and a voice. Now let's pick who delivers it. And this is where you protect your ad spend, not just your taste. Open the avatar slot, and you are looking at 1,500 faces. Do not scroll all of them. Filter instead. Set the gender, the rough age, and a scene that fits your product. A casual, everyday shoe wants someone in a believable room, not a corporate studio set. The filters down the side cut 1,500 down to a short list in seconds. Here is the rule that actually saves the ad. Pick a chest-up shot in a real-looking room, never a tight close-up. The uncanny tell, the thing that feels off, shows up worst on a face at full size. Half a second of that and they scroll past. Frame it from the chest up with a room behind them and the tells mostly disappear. So this is not about looks. Your pick drops into the editor. A close-up avatar is the fastest way to burn the budget behind this ad. With the face set, give it a voice. Open the voice picker and you get a whole library to audition. The one job here is to match the voice to the face you chose. A young, casual avatar with a deep, formal narrator voice is its own kind of tell. The pairing has to feel like one person, so play a few against your script before you settle. Trust your ear on it. Audition a few, then lock the one that sounds like a real recommendation. Here is the honest cost line though. Cloning your own founder voice or uploading a custom face, those live one tier up. On the cheapest paid plan, you are back on the library. And for finding a winning angle, the library is completely fine. You only step up once you have a winner worth your real brand voice. Do not pay for the clone before you have proven the angle. One last thing before we render. Captions. Most of your views happen with the sound off, so the words on screen are doing the selling. Pick a caption look that is bold and easy to read at a glance, not the fussy one with tiny text. Keep it close to how your brand already looks. Now the same shoe, the same angle, has a face, a voice, and words on screen. Everything is staged. Time to spend the credits. Now we generate, and we do not generate just one. Pick 2 avatars instead of 1. You want options to compare, not a single roll of the dice. Hit generate, and it gets to work. This is the step that actually spends credits. Everything up to here was free to set up. A short vertical ad runs you a small handful of credits, and it shows the cost before it commits. Then the batch lands. You get a grid of finished variants, each one a slightly different take, ready for you to pick through. Here is what landed. A grid of finished variants, ready to look at. Under the hood, it cut your avatar against B-roll, dropped the captions in, and timed it all to the script. So open the gallery and look at them properly. This is the payoff the whole setup was building toward. But do not download the first one you see and call it done. The next minute is where the value hawking actually happens. So watch each one with the sound on. The rule that keeps this cheap is to make about half again as many as you will ship. Roughly a third of any batch has a flaw you throw away. You are hunting for a lip sync slip on the hard sounds, a hand that warps at the frame edge, a half second where the face goes still and dead. Any of those, cut it. Keep the clean ones only. That scrap rate is real, so budget your credits for the throwaways, not just the keepers. Open the one that survived the cull, and read this next prompt carefully, because it is a credit gotcha. The preview you have been watching is not the final file yet. To get the clean, sharp version you actually run, you render it one more time. That final pass is where the lip sync tightens up. It is also where the cleanest credits get spent. So only do it on the take you have already decided to keep. Never final render the whole batch. And there it is. The clean file renders, and now you have a real, finished vertical ad. One honest note on cost before you celebrate. The watermark on free tier output only lifts on a paid plan. So a free render is for testing the workflow, never for shipping. But the keeper in front of you, on the cheapest paid tier, cost a few credits and about 20 minutes. The loop is closed. The link became a script, the script got a face and a voice, and the batch handed you something you can run. So if you remember one thing, remember this. The expensive part of ad creative was never the rendering. It was the writing, the filming, and the guessing. This collapses all three into a link, a couple of choices, and a few credits. You pasted a product page and got real scripts. You cast a chest up face and a matched voice, so it would not read as a machine. Then you made a batch, threw away the third that glitched, and rendered one keeper clean. That is a finished ad for the price of a few credits instead of a few $100s a creator. It stops earning its seat only where the tell still shows. So hand the winner to a real person and let this find the winner. So here is your move, and do it while it is fresh. Pull up a product you actually sell and run this exact build on it tonight. The description has the link. It is worththeseat.com/creatify. Those 10 free credits take one product from a link to a finished ad before you pay a cent. Paste the page, pick a face, render the batch, keep the clean one. Go make one.